on to another week. Welcome to the Focus TV. This is season 8, episode 29. We're joined as always. We have Octavia Wyatt, Cardell Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Malik Miller, Wilson Tarpe Jr. Gonna get straight to it. The Washington Mystics coming off. Ray, I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, man. They as you put it on Outlook the other day, they put hands on the Connecticut Sun on Sunday. Damn near 40-point victory. Can't get much more dominant than that. That was a good game for them at the point they are in the season. They're a pretty young team that's had some ups and downs through this early part of the season, and it's good to get one of these out your system. Yeah, they dominated the game at every facet, namely on the interior on both ends. Their front court has been their strong point throughout the whole season, really, and they showed out on Sunday. They out rebounded the Sun by 20, dominated points in the paint, and defensively they were just they were unstoppable at the rim, just kind of deflecting shots and changed things on the inside. Yeah, I mean, we know the Sun are struggling, but a 40-point win is a 40-point win, man. That means they just played perfect basketball. On the other side, Brittany Sykes, she just controlled the game with her ability to get to the basket. She went to the free throw line 15 times and made 14. So that just shows what kind of hell she had the Sun perimeter defenders in. But yeah, man, good win for the Mystics when they needed. We kind of saw Aaliyah Edwards. Looks like she's getting her sea legs back up under her. I know a lot of people earlier in the season were kind of saying, when are we going to see more of her and so on and so forth. But she was recovering from a back injury. You can't just throw somebody to the Wolves immediately as soon as they're cleared to play. You got to kind of ramp back up to your full self. So it was good to see her. Look like she's moving really well. Had a good game, 16 points. But yeah, man, I think it's a lot of optimism with this team, especially with the rookies, Kiki and Sonia. They've been the top 2 rookies in the league so far. If we keeping it real, they just came in and contributed right away. Kiki winning Rookie of the Month for the month of May, so shout out to her. But yeah, man, they're growing into themselves. I know it's early, about 10 games in, but we've already seen some growth and improvement since the first game of the season. So yeah, man, just looking forward to what they'll continue to do. They got a nice little early season break here. They played on Sunday. They won't play again until the upcoming Sunday, so they get a week off where they face the Atlanta Dream, and then they kind of get back to it with some regularity over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, man, they look good. Meet Cardell and Wilson talk a lot about what their record potentially could be, given some lapses in other games. Talk a lot about their execution in the fourth quarter. I think Cardell brought up a good point on the show the other day about how they didn't let their foot off the gas and they continue to execute and not let up. And that's important for a young team, just to kind of see them be able to lock in like that, because every game you're not going to win by 40, but that's going to come into play when, you're in a tight game and you need to execute in the fourth quarter. So it's good to see them take that step of maturity. But yeah, man, they'll be back in action at home on Sunday against the Atlanta Dream, and yeah, man, we'll have news for you guys after that game.
You mentioned with Mystics Outlook, if you have ever missed an episode, sit over to the channel. You can see all of them in their entirety if you guys want to catch up. And then obviously don't miss the pregame previews. Cardell does a really good job. Give you guys some necessary information going into these matchups. And more often than not, you'll see that the previews, some of the points and most of the points in previews kind of line up with what's discussed after the games. It gives a great barometer in terms of things to keep an eye on throughout the game. And, it's up to them to see what boxes are checked and what's not, and what we're discussing, obviously. But don't miss those things. Great, easy way to not miss any of it over to FocusTV.com. Obviously, make sure follow us on Twitter. All right, I can't call it X. It hasn't clicked over for me. You know what I'm talking about. All right, going to move to the NBA playoffs. Octavia, we'll start with you. We're 2 games into the NBA Finals. Also something for you guys, doing NBA Finals recap after games. Maybe your thoughts on the finals now that it is 1-1 headed to Indianapolis, and I think game 3 is Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think at least in the first game, we kind of got what we thought we would possibly see. The Pacers are obviously really skilled at coming back in games they're down by large deficits, and it was the fourth straight series that Tyrese Halliburton hit a game-winning shot or a game to take them into overtime. So he's definitely been playing very clutch. I think game 2 is more of kind of what we kind of saw in game 1. It's just that the Pacers just weren't able to pull it back together. It was, I'm not even gonna lie, I think I went to sleep in the third quarter because it was, I mean, I was kind of leery about it just because the Pacers, again, like I said, are kind of becoming known for coming back and not giving up in these games. But I felt like that one was kind of out of reach for them. So as they get ready for game 3 tomorrow, I mean, if you think about it, the Pacers did what they needed to do. They went in and at least stole one game, although they did steal that game by the skin of their teeth. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder came back really, really heavy in the second game of the series. So now they're 1-1. You know, they have to defend home court. We know the Pacers fans have been, you know, they're supporting them. And as we talked about early on before this final started, the others usually play a lot better at home. So I expect for them to play better. I would not be surprised if we do go back to OKC split 2-2 again, and they split these games here in Indiana. It to me, it's really about the defense that OKC is playing. I mean, everywhere that anybody on the Indiana Pacers turn, there are 2 to 3 players hounding them at all times. I think in game 1, we know Chet Holmgren didn't have the greatest game. He came back with a solid performance in the second game. And I think, like we talked about also before the final started, I think it's really going to come down to home court unless OKC just turns it up and just decides to run away with it, which of course can definitely happen. You know, we know what their record was. I think they said they've already won 80 games this year, which is crazy if you include the playoff games that they've won already. But we know these games can decide really quickly. It's crazy that I don't think either one of these teams have lost games back to back in the finals or in the playoffs. I think they said most of these teams, they know how to adjust well. I think one key thing to also look into is Tyrese Halliburton is kind of hampered. I think it's a foot or an ankle or knee injury that they talked about, where he's of course downplaying it, stating that of course he's going to play, which I have no doubt. I mean, it's the finals, everybody's banged up. He's going to have to get out there and play, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I mean, I've been excited for the finals. You know, it's crazy that it's almost over and we're almost to, you know, the draft coming up soon later on this month. So I'm excited, and I mean, I think, you know, they're going to keep throwing blows. There are going to be potential times where teams blow each other out like they did in the second game, but I think both teams have proven themselves enough in these playoffs that they can play with each other. And I still expect it to be a very, very tight series, unless OKC just hits another gear, which, again, I can still see happening.
Malik, your thoughts on the finals now that we're 2 games in? You got to unmute, Malik.
How's everybody doing today? Absolutely. So just being 2 teams that have made their way to the finals, OKC destroying everyone on their side, and the Pacers finding ways to win in every series on their side. It's just 2 testaments of who's going to have better matchup adjustments, and what I honestly feel as though what coaching is going to get done, because the Pacers coach said himself, SGA is going to get 35 points a game. They got to account for that. Whether Tyrese Halliburton scores 10 points, whether he scores 20 points. As long as he scores at this point, more than 7 points in a game, they have a chance to win. Whether he's scoring 10, 12, 6 assists, 8 assists, the guys around him, Pascal, Naismith, Nembhard, Obi Toppin off the bench scoring 5 threes in the first game, they can keep up, whether it be doing that or playing defense. So it's a better finals. It's a better finals than people give it credit for being. It's not any superstars, any people that's already Hall of Famers going in. It's guys that, for example, Alex Caruso played on the G League team years ago, 10 plus years ago, making his way back to another opportunity to just keep going up the ladder, or whether it be guys like SGA for the first time, Tyrese Halliburton getting traded from the Kings. He used to play with De'Aaron Fox. Just it's a better final than people give it credit to. And to add on to the example, Oklahoma City Hartenstein, a trade from New York, is just it's great basketball being played. And right now it's 1-1. Like said before by Octavia, I can definitely see it getting 2-2 going back to OKC. The role players for OKC just got to be the same guys they've been and give it opportunities down the stretch in the fourth quarter to get it done. And for OKC, the role players are going to have to step up. They step up when SGA doesn't play. They're I think one of the only teams over 85 to 90% to win games without their star player this year, so they can get it done. These guys got to get it done in the biggest stage, and this is how the roads have met. So I have no winner right now. I have no winner in this race. I can definitely say on this podcast before I said I can see why Tyrese Halliburton was the most overrated player. I think that's that goes out the window now. He's showing everybody that he is a guy. He's that guy. So, you can never count them out. Like Octavia said, whether they're down 10 in the fourth, down 14 in the fourth, they can make a way.
Ray.
Yeah, man. I think Indiana's happy. I mean, they got out of there 1-1, and they didn't play a good game. So, I mean, yeah, that's got to be. I know OKC is probably kicking themselves because they could be up 2-0 right now. Now they're heading into hostile territory and got to take back home court. But yeah, man, it's definitely a chess match going on. OKC, their defense is doing what they've been doing the entire season. Indiana, their relentlessness is showing as well. They're a team that they just keep you on your toes, man. You have to turn it up for the entire 48 minutes. You can't let your hair down, because if you do, what happened in game one is going to happen to you again. And that's pressure in itself. Especially for OKC being a young team. I'm interested to see how they're going to continue to deal with that. Shea, he's answered the bell so far. And other guys, they've been doing, basically just doing their job, which is all that's required. Game two, their defense was just smothering. Indiana really couldn't find a rhythm or get anything going. It's going to be interesting to see if that goes back to Indiana with when Indiana gets their home games. Defense typically travels better than offense, so that's a plus for OKC. But like you guys have said, the others usually play better at home. So I'm expecting the Indiana supporting cast to step up. And people have been making a lot of Halliburton. And some of the things they've been saying are valid. Like, he has to get involved early in the game, but for him, that doesn't mean scoring a lot of points. As long as he's aggressive and making the defense react, they're going to be fine. And his strength isn't scoring, but he can score. So if he's controlling traffic and getting everybody else involved, and then in the game you have to worry about him being a scoring threat, that's advantage Pacers. So yeah, man, definitely interested to see how this continues. This game three, I think Indiana comes out with a lot of energy. I know that building's going to be rocking, and I want to see how the young OKC squad responds to that.
Bardo.
Yeah, fun series so far. But to me, the X factor and the difference maker has been OKC's defense, even though it's 1-1. Two things that jump out in the series so far: free throw attempts and turnovers. OKC, we know SGA gets to the line a lot, but as a team, They've attempted 57, made 50 free throws. Indiana has attempted 47, made 34. Then you go to the turnovers. OKC has turned the ball over in 2 games 19 times. They're doing a great job of taking care of the ball. And SGA is leading the way with just 4 in 2 games. So they're doing a great job overall as a team. Indiana, 39 times. Tyrese Halliburton has 8 turnovers. Miles Turner has 9 in 2 games. That's the difference in the game. But that's also predicated on OKC's suffocating defense. Like, they getting after them boys. In the series, Indiana has only 10 steals. They're averaging 5 for the series. OKC, 24 steals. They're averaging 12 so far in the series. Like, that's literally the difference. And like Ray said, it could easily be 2-0. Honestly, it probably should be 2-0. But credit Indiana for not going away there for the minute ball club. You have to knock them out. And that's what OKC did in the second game. We all know role players, for the most part, don't travel, but I don't think that applies with OKC because they've been to some hostile territories in this playoffs and it came through. I know there's questions about Jalen Williams, but I think he kind of answered last series against Minnesota. He came up huge, and he's actually had the edge over Patrick Siakam in a head-to-head, I guess you could say, 1B matchup, outside of the SGA and Halliburton, man. So, those are just a couple factors that jump out right away, and where you see why things are leaning more towards OKC, even as it goes to go back to Indiana. Yes, Halliburton has to be more aggressive, but we also can't forget the defense he's going against. It's not that easy, and he has to be very careful when he's aggressive and how he's aggressive. Those turnovers can turn over real quick on the Pacers and it can backfire. Because right now, I don't think people are paying attention enough to understand. Everybody kind of thought they was going to key in on Halliburton. Now they've been keying on Patrick Siakam. And he's struggling, man. Like, he's shooting 38% from the field, 33% from deep. I mean, that's tough. They need him to be efficient. They need him to put points on the board. The only thing saving him is he's getting to the free throw line right now. That's it. He's 12 or 15 in 2 games, man. Other than that, it's been tough. They really jumping him. They just it's kind of like Darian and Tyrese. Like back in the day, Shaq always said, let him get his 40. We're going to deal with Parker, Ginobili, or whoever else. Keep him that bad, but let Duncan get his 40. Because he said Tim is such a team player. He's not going to be like a Kobe or somebody or Shaq in that regard to just keep scoring as much as needed to win the game. That's just not him. You know what I'm saying? And that plays into their hands. I think that's what they're kind of saying with Tyrese. We want you to do that. Show us that you're willing to be aggressive against our defense, where you could put 30 to 35 to 40 points on the board to make up for us focusing on Patrick Siakam. You know what I mean? And show us. If you can't show us, there's no need for us to adjust. But if you do that, then we'll have to deal with you as well. And obviously, I don't think they're too worried about nobody else really getting hot and all that, because their defense is just so, it's elite. It's one of the best in the last 20, 25 years, and if they complete the deal, it'll be one of the best of all time. So, if OKC defense try, which I have no reason to believe it won't, but obviously in another team's gem in the finals, a lot can play into that. Certain calls can come when, it can dictate physicality and all that. You don't even know how that could go. It can change the things, but if they allow to play without, it's going to be tough. I feel like it's going to be tough for Indiana, man, because they really need more out of Patrick Siakam. And they need Tyrese to be Tyrese that have a fighting chance, man. Otherwise, it's just going to be a repeat of game 2.
Thank you guys did a great job. I know we had talked about the backcourt. I would just reiterate about Tyrese's aggressive. He can't have no games without using free throws. You can't. to a degree, let them off the hook, or what you said, play into the game plan they're offering you. They're daring you to be aggressive. If you're not touching paint, get into the line. Hey man, it was a nice run. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be one of those stories instead of, hey, hell of a series. We don't want to look back and be like, man, you remember that one time the Pacers ran to the. If he doesn't get going, and again, for those folks, I know when we were talking in the previews, we were previewing the finals a couple weeks ago. We talked about how important Pascal Siakam was, and OKC's let you know that, as you mentioned, number one on the board, fully in the crosshairs. Keep that man out of this at all costs. And then you got to think about from a creative standpoint, what else they have over there. It's just kind of tough for what they like to do in the turnovers. Lord, they can't keep turning the ball over. You turn the ball over against, again, anytime your defense gets start throwing around, those all-time conversations, and people can't laugh that they're in that conversation, legitimately in that conversation, you better start taking care of the ball. You're not going to make it out there series. You just can't live like that. I think in game 2, they got, they turned the ball over quite a bit, and then they got blasted on the glass. These are things that just can't happen. Again, going to Indianapolis, I'm very interested to see what that whistle looks like for Shea in Indianapolis. But that said, even if the whistle's different, if Tyrese can't, put his foot on the gas when they need it, if OKC's able to replicate that same second quarter they had in game 2 and game 3, Shea's whistle is irrelevant. Like that defense. But again, looking forward to the, hopefully when we talk to you guys next week, the finals will be going on. There's a chance it can be wrapped up well, comfortably before then, but we'll see. Cardell, move over to rapid fire, take it or leave it. Where's yours?
All right. Start on the NFL side of things. Aaron Rodgers has signed with the NFL team over the weekend. He got a 1-year deal to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. He appeared at practice for the first time today and was, of course, a talk of time at the drawn-out free agency process. While speaking to reporters at minicamp, Rodgers was asked about the timing of his decision to finally sign with Pittsburgh. He offered a brief explanation for why his deal was finalized much later than that of a normal free agent. Well, I was dealing with a lot of things in my personal life, and some things improved a little bit where I felt like I could be fully all in with the guys. I had a great conversation with Mike Tomlin throughout the entire process, and Mark Hahn, the GM. Take it or leave it, man. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you, what's wrong with you?
I'm gonna leave it. I know it's Aaron Rodgers. I know he's been, a Hall of Fame quarterback for a majority of his career. I think I heard something where they said, like, statistically, he was the worst quarterback last year. Granted, I understand he played for the Jets. I just don't ever think the Jets are ever going to be good, to be fair. Never know, of course. But, at this point, I feel like the Steelers didn't have any other options. Like everybody knows, I don't think they wanted to roll Mason Rudolph out there for another season, especially when, you have Hall of Famers on your defensive side. That's like, what are we doing? When you talk about TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. It's kind of weird just because Aaron Rodgers is always gung-ho to tell us everything else that's going on in his life. So all of a sudden, he doesn't want to tell us about whatever this thing is that was going on in his life that caused him to not know if he wanted to make a decision to play or not. I call BS on that. I hope everything in his personal life is good. I'm not saying that. I call BS on it. I just think he wanted to skip all the extra hoopla, all the extra OTAs, mini camps. He wants to show up when it's time to be mandatory, which is what he did. I get it. He's 41 or will be 41 this year. Cool. I'm not excited for them. I've always been a prove it type person, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't foster a good team environment. It seems like if it's not his guys, if it's not Devontae Adams, if it's not the other one that always comes. I can't think of his name right now. That went to the Jets with him too. If it's not his guys, then it's hard for me to really buy into the fact that, you know, he's really going to be into it. I know he did the off-season throwing the ball to DK Metcalf. That's great, I guess. But yeah, I'm definitely leaving it. It's washed. And I think I just read something where he said that it was either going to be this or retire. I honestly would wish he would have retired.
Malik.
I'm taking it. This Mike Tomlin is known to go 500, get in the playoffs, to have a shot in the playoffs in the last week or last 2 weeks of the season every year. So they have a shot at the playoffs. Good quarterback, bad quarterback, anywhere in the middle. The Steelers always have a chance to get in. Aaron Rodgers, they might get in a little bit early. They might get in a little bit later, but they'll be in. And Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is scary. Mike Tomlin in the playoffs is very scary. To add to Octavia's point, Aaron Rodgers revealed in his interview that he got married. So, you know, that might have been something I'm about to say that pushed him to, you know, to say he was going to play or retire or things like that. But Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, they some older cats and they're winners. So we can see what it looks like. I like this Steelers organization. I like Aaron Rodgers as an individual player. I like Mike Tomlin. As long as he can score 21 to around 18 to 24 points, the Steelers are in every game. So I'm hopeful. I take it.
I mean, it's been like 5 different people that got married this offseason. I don't know. It's been like every time. I think Josh Allen just got married. Okay, a bunch of them, but I digress.
Ray.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it, man. I think I agree with Octavia. I think the Steelers just felt like they had to do something. Whether this something is going to be beneficial or not, that remains to be seen. But yeah, last time we saw Aaron Rodgers play football, it wasn't pretty. Those things usually don't get better at this age. So, but yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin, he's proven he's got the sauce. I mean, he doesn't have losing seasons, so we'll see. But yeah, this might be a rough one. Yeah, if your options are going into this situation or retiring, I think he's made a little bit of money. You know, his his legacy is what it is. Can't be denied. Why put yourself through another 17, 18 weeks? But you know, if that's what he wants to do, then fine. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Wilson, you have a lot to say about Mr. Rodgers.
Taking a high road today. He got it. Man, I don't. Mike Tomlin be taking on the most. Man, like Antonio Brown. You traded for DK Metcalf from Perkins. You just had, George Pickens. Why? This is like a test from the Steelers. The Steelers owners like this. How much can one man take? Like, why? Yeah, multiple opportunities in the draft to take a young quarterback. You didn't have to do this. You just did not have to do this. And then you got TJ Watt holding out right now. Hilarious. But I know that got nothing to do with this. Or does it? Who knows? Doesn't matter. What the only part of this that I do like, the Steelers was like, you can come over here, but all your other BS is just you coming over here. None of your friends, nothing else. So that's the only way we're like, I'm leaving it. Just because you like 41 and you were trash last year. Even if you run Arthur Smith's like offense, and I also have faith in Arthur Smith. We know it's run heavy, whatever, but that means you, Mr. Change of Play just to throw the ball, to act brand new in your last NFL season. But I think most of it's because the ego can take what you looked like last year. People was talking crazy. You got all types of people fired. You did things your way, and it was trash. Like dumpster fire. You were so bad that the Jets might have fixed themselves. They've never acted this responsible in their entire tenure. They were like, we're going to get people that work together. We're going to get multiple adults in the building. We're going to have a plan that people talked about because of you. Because they caved in last year, gave in to every little stupid idea and want that you had. You really might have fixed the Jets. Yeah, I'm leaving this. It's horrible. But again, because it's Mike Tomlin, they might mess around and make the playoffs, and I'm still leaving it because of you. Like, if they make the playoffs, like, TJ Watt needs a raise. Cam Hayward, get the start on Cam Hayward's bust and Canton right now. Because this is absurd, dude. You could have just taken a young quarterback. You hadn't. There's just no reason for this. But whatever, man.
Oh man. Obviously, I hope it's not good over there. I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan, but my team is in that conference, so yeah, you know how that goes, man. But not being biased, man. I'm kind of in between because I just feel like Mike Tomlin just ain't going like the Wilson said. He's that's just one coach that's not going. You know what I mean? Like he'd be about it and quit. So I'm giving him a little hope for like flashback season in a sense, because he has no choice. If he don't perform, he's gone. It's over. You know what I mean? Because no other team will give him a chance, man. It's like it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And like what you also said, because of the culture, it's a no nonsense culture. So the only thing he would be able to focus on, congrats, new life, and all that, but football. Instead of all the other divas, all the other distractions that was with him with the other stuff in New York and stuff like that, man. Because what he found out in New York, if you're not performing, no one wants to hear you talk. No one wants to see you or hear you. You got to get it done. So we're gonna see what happens, man. If you can't get it done here, like we said, man, it's over. Like just go ahead and retire, and they're gonna send him to early retirement quickly. So that distraction can be about it, like. Because if you mention what you think it's going to be, a bunch of questions like, why you bench for Avon? I mean, what's going on? So, you know how that goes, man. But we're going to move on to the W side of things. Some tough news. And when it rains, it pours. Chicago, Courtney Vandersloot. She needed to be carried off the court on Saturday after suffering a knee injury. The first quarter of the Sky's game against the Fever. She did not return, and she won't be returning at all this season. The Sky announced on Sunday, and then the MRI revealed Vandersloot sustained a torn ACL on the right knee, and that she undergo surgery to repair the injury. She's set to miss the rest of the 2025 WNBA season. It's a big loss for Chicago, obviously. We're just reunited with Vandersloot during the offseason. Vandersloot played the first 12 seasons of her career for this guy. They drafted her number 3 overall in the 2011 draft. She departed at the 2022 season, spent the 23-24 season with the New York Liberty, but she won her second championship last year. In her return to Chicago, she was averaging 10.6 points, 5.3 rebounds, 1.6 steals per game. She started all 7 games she played in this season prior to an injury. The 2025 WNBA season was Vandersloot's 15th year in the league at 36. It's not out of the question that obviously the ACL tear could mark the end of her great career, Hall of Fame career, in my opinion. She signed a 1-year deal with this guy, and she would be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Take it or leave it, man. 2-part question. We'll start with you, Malik. Is it a wrap for the Sky this season? And is it a wrap for Vandersloot as a WNBA player?
Okay. Relating to her personally, truthfully, I hope she returns. Prayers for her, because these type of injuries, especially for athletes, no matter how old or young, are just horrible injuries to have. Career-ending injuries, more than a break, more than a partial tear. So I just hope that she's actually okay. When it comes to the Sky as a team, what are they sitting at? 3-1 games, 2-1 game, 2 games won, 2 or 5. Yeah, so They need her.
And
Angel
actually,
Reese.
not to cut you off, they're now 18 right now to the Liberty. So more than likely, that's gonna be 2-6.
And the Liberty best team in the league right now. They're playing in the cup, the Commissioner's Cup. Yeah, the Chicago Sky. She's definitely a big piece of their team that they need. They're in the hole. The boat is sinking fast. Angel Reese is a rebound machine, but on the offensive end, productivity wise, she's just not. She's sitting at averaging about 10 to 12 points, uh, shooting at under, able to play the big, shooting at under 60%, under just a lot of shots, not a lot of makes. It's just not helping them out. Camilla's doing a little bit more. They're trying to get the ball into her hands a little bit more. They're trying to use the guards on their team. But yeah, she's definitely needed her injury to only be 7 games into this new team of trying to gel together. Well, this new way of how they're trying to play. Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, she's definitely. I take it. They need her. They need her, and the boat is sinking fast.
So you leaving it. Gotcha. Ray.
Yeah, man, the Sky season so far has been a dumpster fire. Nothing has gone right. Yeah, the player and the coaches look confused and lost. And even more so now that Vandersloot has gone down. You know, she was bringing some stability, but now with her out the picture, they just have fallen off a cliff. In regards to her, I mean, you get an injury like that at this age, 9 times out of 10 it's a wrap. And it would definitely suck to see her have to go out like that. You know, a player that's accomplished what she's accomplished should be afforded the luxury to go out on her own terms. She deserves a farewell tour and all that comes with it. But man, such is life. And if this is it, like you said, Claudel, she Hall of Fame. Like, well, everything she's done and she's been able to accomplish in the W, overseas, or what have you, she's checked everybody. So yeah, hopefully we haven't seen her on the court for the last time, but if we have, then you know that's a career well spent.
Wilson.
Yeah, hell of an injury to have at this age. For her, pushing her to recovery. If this is it, I'm happy we've been covering the league long enough that we still got to cover some of her prime years. You know, some folks, this might have been the last couple of years, the only version of Scoop that they got to see. We got to see when it was her Quigley going nuts over there at the time, you know what I'm saying, tearing things up. So, like, that's what really sucks. We're like the great next week. You love, obviously, athletes walk away when they're on the court, when they're on power. This is it. That sucks. She definitely has a place in all the favors. One of the best point guards in the league. She's been amazing her entire career. And she's a winner. For this guy, hey man, decisions have consequences. They've done some things over the past couple of years. Hey man, you know how people always talk about like the players on the team are important. Yeah, their front office is important too. And they, with the type of year that they're having, they don't have their first round pick for next year. You put that in perspective. Washington has their pick. So if this tailspin doesn't turn around somehow, that's if you see Chicago up against whatever, just mentally sort out with the mistake. But yeah, for them, that's they got some decisions they have to make. Tyler Parsons, tough first job. Tough first job as a head coach. First job. That's all I got. Definitely leaving it though. It sucks for Studi, but yeah, just I think that was apparent early on.
The late great Bill Russell once said the team is only as good as its front office. So there you go. I'll take it. Your thoughts. take it or leave it. Quick on Amanda Salute and Sky overall.
Yeah, I think I'm with the consensus here. I'm gonna leave it for Snooty. It sucks, like you guys have all stated, for her to go out. Unfortunately, with this injury. But to me, she really has nothing left to prove. You know, like she's done everything that she's done. She's a two-time champ. She has records and things of that sort. She really has nothing left to prove. I do hope she gets better, and also, like you guys stated, you know, go out on your own terms. But coming back from an ACL injury I mean, my knee pops every day, and it's not even an ACL injury. Like, that ain't even going to be fun. But I think, granted, of course, she is a high level that can definitely be done. But you know, think about it as fun. And again, like I said, she has anything left to prove. As far as the Chicago Sky, I would like to pick up Ray's words. It's been a dumpster fire. It's been a lot more fashion off the court than it has been on the court. I love the fashion. It's not translating to the court. And like you already pointed out as well, front office. You know, I'm sure they wish they still had that in the Washington Mystics when they had someone on their team. Currently, you know, the changes that they made last year. I mean, letting go to Witherspoon as they did as a coach, opting to, I don't even know what their goal was, because to me, I don't know if we're starting over young, but the magic didn't happen. I mean, we love Ariel here, but she's not spring chicken either. I don't think they're really getting a lot out of Haley Van Lith as well. Of course, she's a rookie and she's still trying to find her footing. And then you have the sophomores and Angel Reese and Camila Cardoza. I mean, I had to look it up to really see what she's averaging. Like, she's averaging 9.1 points, 12.3 rebounds. And I'm sure everybody's on social media. A lot of rebounds are offensive rebounds, shots that she's missed. So, I mean, it's a tough situation for them. And as well as we know the top teams playing, and even some teams that might not have been fixed at the beginning of the year. I mean, as we know, Washington is playing well. They're not high up, but Kiki Iriafen and Sonia Citron, and think about it, you know, like you guys also stated with the Mystics earlier, getting Aaliyah back into the rotation. Shakira's starting to come on as well. Brittany's playing well. I mean, Lucy can knock down an outside three a couple of times. I mean, that team wasn't even thought of, you know, when it came out the season. So it's going to be a tough sledding for the Chicago Sky, unless there's some crazy resurrection of energy that's fused into them, you know, unless Angel goes on a crazy streak. Camilla, like Melissa also said, has been playing better. She's averaging a little over 10 points a game and a little over 6 rebounds a game. So unless they have a miraculous infusion of energy, it's going to be a tough year for them. And based off of what Wilson said, it seems like it's going to be tough next year too if they don't have that first round pick. So it seems like it's going to rain before it pours, before it gets better in Chicago, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, man. It's so bad over there, man. I forgot my girl Ariel Atkins play over there, dog. I'm like, damn, dog. That don't hurt my heart, man. That was my favorite Mystic, dog. It's that bad. It's that bad, man. So we're going to stay on the W side of things, man. A new signing with a player that we're familiar with. Helped the Mystics win the 2019 championship. The Golden State Valkyries, they continue to make roster moves, and more players are set to leave for the Eurobasket tournament that starts next week. The Valkyries signed veteran guard Ariel Powers. The team announced today. Powers' addition comes after the Valkyries announced Julie Van Loo, former Mystic, will be away from the team to participate in Eurobasket. Powers, 31, was drafted 5th overall in 2016 and last played for the Atlanta Dream in 2024. She's a career 10.5 points per game scorer and won a WNBA championship with the Washington Mystics back in 2019. She also played for the Dallas Wings and Minnesota Lynx. Since winning a championship in 2019, Powell has been playing with injuries. In 2020, she suffered a hamstring injury that limited her to just 6 games. The year after, she tore her UCL on the right thumb. And in 2023, she dealt with a nagging ankle sprain that kept her to 20 games played. Last year, calf injury kept Powell on the bench for the second half of the season. Powell profiles as a bigger guard who had rebounding, consistent shooting off the bench. She has shot 33% from beyond the arc for her career and has the athleticism to be a factor on the boards. Powell is the second player the Valkyries signed this week as to prepare for more players to leave for Eurobaskets. They also signed for Letitia Amahir, who was on the Valkyries preseason roster on Sunday after releasing center Kiara Niskins. Right, man. First of all, just rapid fire, no taking a lead, but what are your thoughts on Ariel Powell's signing on the Valkyries, and also the players leaving for Eurobasket that can mess with a few teams in the standings? And right now, the Valkyries are in they're in 8th place right now, 4 and 5. Let's be honest, they got to be one of the most surprising teams this season because obviously expansion teams, it's tough for them to come in and figure it out. But that new coach, she came from the Aces, she's getting it done. They find ways to win at that shaky start, man. So, which makes it even more wow what's going on in Chicago. But we're gonna stay on Golden State side of things, man. Just what are your thoughts on Ariel Powell being back in the league with Golden State?
Yeah, man, I was happy to see that news. She's definitely had a few rough years health wise, but if her body's right, I think she can definitely contribute. She has championship pedigree, like you pointed out. She's explosive. She can be versatile. I definitely think she'll help them. Like you said, man, the Valkyrie, they turn a lot of heads. I didn't expect them to come out the gate like this. Even after the first couple games of the season was kind of rocky, they figured something out, and then bringing a veteran player like this into the mix. Yeah, man, they might surprise some folks. Yeah, the W's tricky. You get situations like this where all of a sudden, people are up and leaving for an extended period of time, and this is a good pickup for them. We see that a lot with with hardship contracts and things like that, where you make a surprise signing that could draw some life into your team. So yeah, I think this is going to pay dividends for the Valkyrie, man. But yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what they've been able to do so far this season. If they can keep this up, hey man, look, it's going to make a lot of other teams and front offices look bad. You just making surprise rash decisions and the expansion team coming in and taking lunch. Yeah, that's not good, man. But yeah, no, I like the signing. I hope she's able to just stay up and do it.
And to throw this in there, they're doing it without Tiffany Hayes. Who's been battling that bad, what was that, ankle injury or whatever? The injury she had from early in the season. They're doing it without her. So, and then we all know Laker go to state on them. Like, come on now. You don't play games about being in a position to win championships. So, and we've seen the resources and facilities that they have, man. They got that Golden State money. You know what I'm saying? They're taking care of them ladies. So, that will gain some traction. Your players, a lot of the top players can be all right. Let's go over there, be with Steph and Draymond. You know what I'm saying? Let's hold it down the summers and stuff. But Wilson, your thoughts on Ariel Powell signing with Golden State?
They somewhat have a type, right? Versatile players that can play defense. I think that's you guys talked about how they've impressed. I know that's the thing that stood out to me the most. They're about it on that end of the floor. And obviously, as they increase the talent, it's gonna get crazier. So about the resources, whatever, this is your first impression to the league, right? You have more wins than 4 other teams in the league. You just got here. Start expansion draft, and you're taking players that were kind of cast off to a degree from other teams. Also, you're armed with a lot of money to go into free agency next year, which will be the Wild Wild West, to do whatever you will with it. But yeah, I think if Ariel can help, I wouldn't be shocked if she's somebody who can last for the Valkyrie. She's not a bad player. I think Ray, you mentioned her body just hasn't been right. It seems like every time she comes back from an injury, she suffers another one before she can get at least stay on the court long enough to get going. Like honestly, the last time we saw her, the longest stretch of healthy play was when she was here. In 2019, when she was part of Washington title run, like that was the last time we saw her healthy for a very long stretch of time. But it's a bigger guard, super versatile piece. She can stay healthy. The Valkyrie's got another one.
Yeah, just to throw this in there, she's built physically and athletically very similar to Brittany Sykes. Brittany Sykes has had a lot of lower leg injuries and whatnot, and that's just, I think that's par for the course, especially on the ladies' side with explosive athletes. You know what I mean? Because I think they still quite a ways behind as far as understanding how to properly train female bodies, especially ones that are super explosive. You know what I mean? I think they just started getting that going, you know, over the last decade or so, because so many girls return to ACL that were high-level athletes. And just like as the men, the quote-unquote evolved, it's the same on the women's side. You know what I mean? So I think that's the case, man. Because you see, she always working out, staying in shape. So it's not like she coming in the season just out of shape or not athleticism. I just think she's so explosive, man. It don't take much, and the reason why she probably was so healthy during that 2019 season, because that Mississippi team was so deep, you wasn't putting much wear and tear on your body. Like the bench could start for other teams. Like it was dead loaded, and that's why they won the championship. They were just beating the hell out of everybody. So I mean, shoot, you play your 20 minutes, do your work, and sit down. Get ready for the next one. You know that year. Lee, your thoughts? Eric Powers, sign with Golden State.
I like the move. Golden State, not to beat up a dead horse, but Golden State just getting versatile wings, versatile guards that can play the 2 through the 3, guard the 1 through the 4, and just be able to play. If she can stay healthy, like you all said, she can help. And maybe not even 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 17. They just beat the Aces the other day in the Commissioner's Cup. They beat them by some points too. Like you said, right now they're sitting under 1 game under 500, 2 games under 500. They have more of a showing this season than some teams right now, whether that be because of injury, whether that be because teams just aren't getting it done. But they got to lace up their shoes the same way everybody else got to lace up their shoes. And right now they're looking like a respectable ball club, as Wilson said before. The WNBA expansion draft, it looks good right now. In a few years, the Valkyrie are definitely going to be right now. Like he said, the facilities, just a place of being in California. It looks like a good place to play. So in a few years, they're going to be able to sell it as a great place to want to be at. They look good right now. I like it.
Yep, man. Just thought it's also in there before we finish with Octavia. It's an arms race. Think about 2019. Who had the best facilities in the league at that point? The Mystics, because they just opened the ESN, and that's why you saw a lot of players gravitate towards that. It's crazy that 6 seasons later, it's like, yes, it is. It's like they looking at it like, what the? And Octavia understand it's like a little Baltimore court. You know what I'm saying? That's how they looking at it. It's like, what is that?
Not LBA. Oh Lord. Now how many games I played in LBA? Right.
She know that court was
And all Saturday there.
Yeah. A lot of players came out of there. We should have tore our ACLs on that court, though. That court was horrible. I don't even know what it was made out of, but we got the job done. We played, man.
I mean, I feel like I got my share of injuries at LBA. I had a whole concussion. It was a whole thing.
I don't know what it was, marble wood. It was terrible, but look, man, that's just what it was, man. So, but yeah, for these ladies, man, because of what their needs are, the teams with the best resources, best facilities, they're going to attract the best players. And again, Joe Lager, San Francisco, what is it? The tech empire of the world. Like, come on now. You know, it ain't gonna be hard. And you got Toronto coming too. So yeah, they gonna make sure they straight up. Canada gonna definitely make sure they straight up there. So if your facilities aren't up to par, it's gonna be bad, man. Well, I'll tell you your thoughts. Your thoughts on what to say.
First off, the LBA thing took me out because I actually went to school there for a year. So I actually had like gym in there.
Yeah.
And so
I was in middle school too for 2 years. Yeah, it's bad.
horror stories. Anyway, I'll keep it brief to basically piggyback off what all you guys were saying. I think it's a great pickup. I watched the Valkyrie and the Aces game, and they low key whooped their ass for real. And I was like, okay, I mean, Monique Billings was looking like Asia Wilson, and Asia Wilson was looking like Monique Billings. Like, not trying to downplay her or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, it was like how it was happening out here. So I mean, like, and then also like you guys said about the expansion draft and everything. Like, you gotta think about it. They gotta do this all over again next year. When it comes down to the Toronto Tempo that's going to be coming out, and I could be wrong, I can't remember, but their GM is actually from the DMV as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, she got, and I mean, and I actually played against her in high school too. She played for Forest Park in Virginia. And she a dog. So I mean, I know she got the basketball IQ to duplicate something that is already on production for the newest expansion team. So I like it. I think it's going to be a great pickup for them. I will say that it does intrigue me thinking about all of the players that are going to be in and out due to the Euro Basketball League. I had to actually go look it up. I think I saw that Swedish from the Liberty are going to be out, so that's going to be interesting too. You talked about Julie Van Loo, who she's been playing crazy since she's been there too. So I am very interested to see what shakes up in the WNBA when these players do leave, if there are going to be more names that are announced that will be leaving as well. So yeah, but I think it's a great pickup for them. Like you guys stated, if she could stay healthy, just with the way that they're playing, they're playing like a team. It's crazy to think about it. Like, they don't have as much chemistry as these other teams do, because a lot of them just got together this offseason. So if they gel, you never know.
Yeah, we've mentioned next year and the craziness, WNBA free agency, like I want to say like 20 times within the last 2 weeks, just because sometimes comments from Mystics Outlook, but just again to remind folks, CBA, it feels like 92% of the leagues in free agency. That's why it keeps getting brought up. So folks with the resources Cardell keeps alluding to. When that the tampering period opens or what have you, man, those with the facilities, it's gonna be like those NFL teams that people call cheaters come that time of year on the NFL side. Be like, oh, they mentioned it and they're already locked in. 3 days before it officially begins. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's literally gonna be nuts. But as always, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll get at you guys next week, obviously. Look forward to seeing what the NBA Finals holds for us. By that time next week, the Mystics will have resumed play after considerable time without a game, as Ray mentioned earlier. Don't forget to get over to thefocustv.com and obviously follow us on your social media mediums. And we will see you guys soon. Appreciate y'all as always.